Hello FastMatics friends, today we're going to study ratios and proportions, a very important subject for our lives. Let's see one example. When we humans compare quantities, we could make two types of comparisons. For instance, if we have a house with a price of 10 millions. And then my friend has a house with a price of 5 millions. We could subtract quantities and we could say we have a difference of 5 million between my price and his price. But also we could compare those houses making a division. If you divide the 10 million price by the 5 million price, you get 2. What does that mean? That the house of 10 millions costs twice the house of 5 million. This is called a ratio. Conclusion: we can compare two quantities by subtraction or by a division that is called ratio. A ratio is a fraction, is a division. Now, what is a proportion? A proportion is the relation between two ratios. For instance, 10/8 is equal to 5/4. A proportion is very important in our lives because humans are comparing all the time things, money, people. And we could talk about a very important rule in proportions, a very important property. If you multiply those two numbers, you are getting the same as when you multiply those other numbers. Here you have the top of the first ratio, the bottom of the second ratio, the bottom of the first ratio, and the top of the second ratio. Then we can say that if we multiply top 1 times bottom 2 is equal to top 2 times bottom 1. This is a very important property. Here you can see 10 times 4, 40. 8 times 5, 40. Oh, that's great. And that is because we have equivalent fractions, equivalent ratios, and that is called a proportion. In real life, we must say that if you find a person that is sick, maybe, you are not going to feel that her face has a good proportion. Maybe you will have a big mouth and a small face, and your brain is going to say, no, it's something that is not good, there's something wrong in this person. Because our brain is normally comparing sizes in our faces, in our bodies. That means that if you divide, for instance, the size of the nose by the size of the mouth, in other person, the relation, the division must be similar, must be almost the same. If your brain finds that it is not true, that there's something wrong, you are going to see that immediately. After that, we could also say that a ratio can be written as a percentage. For instance, 3 in every 5 people loves cheesecake. But we need to know also what is the percentage of people loving cheesecake. Then we must divide 3 by 5. Then remember that you always divide the number in the numerator by the number in the denominator. Inside our house, we are going to write the 3, and outside the 5. 5 times what numbers give us 3 or less than 3? 5 times 0, 0. To get to 3, 3. Now we add a decimal point and we continue our division. 5 times what number give us 30? 5 times 6, 30. To get to 30, 0. That means that if 3 in every 5 people loves cheesecake, we have 0.6, and that means 60%. We have just to move the decimal point 2 places, because percent means that we are considering 100. If we had 100 people, how many would love cheesecake? Then we have to move decimal point 2 places to the right, because the number 100 has 2 zeros. And if it has 2 zeros, we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And those are simple concepts of ratios and proportions. Then it is very important to say that a ratio is a fraction and that a proportion is the relation between 2 ratios, the equality between 2 ratios. That is a proportion, and that is the base for the rules of 3 that we are going to see on the next video. And that's it.